Find yourself falling more and more into debt, it can be easy to feel a little bit helpless, but it's important to remember that you do have options, okay? So keep that in mind. Lina Kornmeye, Events with Bank of America, is here to talk us through some of those options. So let's go ahead and talk. Debt is just something that a lot of people fall into without really even, I've been there, we've all been there. So
yes,
the first steps you can take are what?
Yes, we have all been there. It's nothing to be embarrassed about or scared of or anything like that. But first off, having debt is very, very, very common. Americans have an average of $5,200 in debt annually. So, you're not alone. Don't feel like you're out on an island or anything like that. But let's get started by getting a picture of how much you owe, right? Total. Remember from last month, we talked about your financial snapshot, right?
Yeah.
So make a list, all of your debts, all of your balances, all of your interest rates, and your due dates. And then now you've got yourself two options, right? So you can look at paying off your higher interest rates first and really attacking that. And that'll give you more money that you're saving the faster that you pay that off. Or your other option is to pay off your smaller balances first and then transition into your higher balances. Either one is fine. It's really going to be personal preference and what works best for you.
Okay, that's good to know. So when do you think it's actually time to seek more of professional help if you've tried that option and it didn't quite work?
Once you're starting to get behind on payments pretty consistently, you really want to get a credit counselor. And this is really important if collection agencies have started calling you, if you've exhausted all of your options. A credit counselor can really give you clarity on what your options are, on tackling your debt. They can even potentially negotiate new rates or a payment plan for you, which is really, really great. But you really want to make sure that they are reputable credit counselors. The Federal Trade Commission and the National Foundation for Credit Counseling can help you find a reputable agency, which is really good.
Just Google those, and then through that you'll be able to find someone
absolutely.
here
Do
locally.
not just late night TV it. Not a good choice.
Good advice. So let's say you've exhausted all of these options. Is there anything else that you can do?
It's really, you're going to be thinking about looking at getting a more manageable payment schedule, right? And so, debt consolidation is an option, and that's really when you combine all of your different debts into one payment. This may not work for everybody, but it is a good idea to consider if you have big balances with high interest rates. Another option could be a more formal debt consolidation with a personal loan as well.
Got it. So you'd have to go through a bank or a credit bureau to do that. Okay, good to know. So what about student loans? I know that's a big thing for a lot of people. I'm going through this right now. So what are some options that you have with those?
Yes, when those student loans start wearing you down, you could put, and you've tried consolidation or refinancing of your student loan, debt forgiveness may be possible. Now, debt forgiveness is when a lender agrees to forgive some or all of your student loan. Now, it can come with some other costs, and that's worked out through the lender, but so just be aware of that. It's not just free money being thrown into the ether, and it's really only for student loans. It is not eligible for other types of debt. So really important.
And how do you go about even finding that option?
The debt forgiveness? Yeah, you want to get with whoever's holding your student loan and have a conversation with them.
And they'll be able to walk you through that. Okay, good to know. And so is there a final last resort for people? I know this is probably not something you want to recommend all the time.
Yes, a final last resort option if all other options are fully exhausted. Bankruptcy might be your last option. Now, this can affect your access to credit in the future. So it really is no other options. You've tried everything. You've worked with a debt counselor, all of the things. But listen, it is possible to break the cycle of debt. It is possible to rebuild your credit. But it just takes time. It takes patience. It takes a plan. We're all about planning, right? And ask for help. I think that's the biggest thing. People are really, really scared to ask for help when it comes to managing their debt. And you're not alone. Ryan and I have talked about this. There's a lot of people out there. So just ask for help.